Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. It's a story that's been heating up massively over the past 24 hours, but it's not just him. There's another winger that a lot of people are so excited about, and if I'm being honest with you, it might just be the option that I would probably go for. Arsenal are being linked with him as well, and they could get him on such a good deal that I think it would be hard for Arsenal to turn their nose up at. I think they have to go for it. Before we get into it though, I hate to do it, just do me the favour and hit like on this video. So the first place we're going to start is Eze. Look, Arsenal have been linked, in the past week or two with so many different players. But Eze in the last 24, 48 hours is a link that seems to be picking up pace. There seems to be a lot of media outlets now reporting that Arsenal are tracking the movement of Eze. Now, we know he's away with England on international duty. And we actually got to see him feature in the last game. And in terms of a player, I actually think he's very good. I think he can offer things in terms of balance, in terms of, just having that power on the left-hand side, but also the versatility to be able to drop more centrally as well. We've seen him deployed as a 10. We've seen him be deployed on the left wing. I don't know what his best position is, but there's another player as well that Arsenal are being linked with that I just think might be the better option. Nico Williams. These are the two guys Arsenal seem to be sounding out for that left wing position. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Who would you go for? If you had the choice between Eze and Nico Williams, they seem to be available for about the same fee. I can't get an exact fee. Rumours are anywhere between 50 and 60 million pounds, which if you're looking at the market in today's, day and age, it's not really like a blockbuster signing in terms of money, but I still think you're getting very decent players for that price point. Like I said, Eze, look at his stats. 11 goals, 6 assists last season. So this is a guy that can definitely chip in terms of output. But you would like to think that if he does move on to a better team, more technical team, more of a system that will allow him to flourish, I think he could probably push those numbers higher. Nico Williams as well, 8 goals and 19 assists. I think this guy would be perfect. Imagine him, 19 assists, playing in them balls for whoever's up front for Arsenal. We're hearing links of more strikers. I'll probably get into that in tomorrow's video, but Nico Williams for me is the guy I'm looking at. If I'm looking at Eze and Williams, like I said, I think they both can offer things for Arsenal. I think they both can play out wide and offer backup, because that might essentially be what we need. We don't necessarily need to bring in first team 11, which they would be good enough to break into that first team. If Gabriel Martinelli doesn't hit the heights that he did a couple of seasons ago, or if Leandro Trossard isn't as good as last season, there's definitely an opening in this team for someone to come in as a left winger, maybe be given limited chances at the beginning, but get a chance to show their brilliance and really secure that left wing position. Like I said, we haven't seen it really locked down since Martinelli had that 15-goal season 2 seasons ago. So I think if Eze or Nico Williams can come in, I think they can transform that left-hand side for Arsenal. We know their left-back position for Arsenal, in my opinion, has made the left winger position for Arsenal struggle this season. We've rotated that left back position so many times this season, and we've seen teams who, if they have like a left back that isn't at the level or isn't a secure position able to play down the left wing, it does hinder the opportunities of the left winger. I think with Jurrien Timber coming in, and there are plenty of rumours out there saying that Arsenal may actually target a specialised left back in this window. If we can get a specialised left back, or in my opinion, Jurrien Timber's more than good enough to play that position. If we can get Jurrien Timber to play that position, get him in a run a game, 20, 30 games, and then have a left winger, whether it be Martinelli, whether it be Trossard, whether it be Eze or Nico Williams, I really do think that left-hand side can be as deadly as that right-hand side is for Arsenal. We've seen, last season, for example, how successful was that right-hand side for Arsenal. Now, obviously, having Odegaard operating and doing his best work in that area helps, but you've also got Bukayo Saka, a consistent player down that right-hand side, so he knows, and everyone else knows around him, how he plays. They know what he's going to do. Ben White as well, he's been a stalwart at right-back, so we know what we're getting from that right-hand side. And that is why it's our most dangerous side. That left back, we've been chopping and changing. No one's been able to really secure any of the positions, really. We've seen Trossard played as left wing. We've seen Martinelli. We've seen Kivior. We've seen Zinchenko at left back. We've seen Tomiyasu. We've seen so many rotated players. That's the position I'm looking at and saying, if we can improve that next season, and if we can really lock down that left-hand side, I don't think there's any other positions that will offer us a greater advantage of doing it. Now, the central midfield position is also something that we need to improve upon. You know, we saw Thomas Partey come back last season, but I can't help but watch Onana and his displays for Belgium last night. Or was it last night? I'm sure it was. Especially, last night for Belgium. He was incredible. He's the exact number 6 that you need. Was his game perfect? No. But you're never going to get a perfect game. But I just think in terms of his attributes, I've said it so many times, Onana would be the perfect signing for Arsenal. I know not everybody would go for that deal, but I can't help but look at him and say, listen, this player is brilliant. I also wanted to talk about Okonkwo. He's gone to Wrexham. There's been quite a lot of backlash aimed at Mikel Arteta after this, saying there's no pathway for these young players. Mostly, I don't think that's true, because Okonkwo wasn't exactly going to be ready to step up into the first team anyway. We got David Raya, Ramsdale. We got Hein as well, who we'll see what happens there. But Okonkwo, there probably wasn't a pathway, but just because he didn't make it, it's not a player I'm looking at and saying, oh, there's never going to be a pathway. You know, I think players next season like Nwaneri will be given the opportunity, and that will just show the players in the younger teams, listen, if you are good enough, you're old enough. Mikel Arteta won't hinder any of these great young players. We've lost a couple of players recently who maybe some people are frustrated with. But if you're looking at what kind of players we're losing, if we're being honest, none of them are probably at the level where I think they can step up and be that real world-class player. Now, maybe that's a bit harsh, and maybe I'm only saying that because they've left the club, but I don't see it as a problem yet. I think Mikel Arteta did have a couple of opportunities last season where he could have thrown some younger players in to maybe give them some minutes. Hopefully he learns next season that he does need to do that. You know, these younger players do need to see a pathway. But I think, like I said, with the introduction of players like Nwaneri, I think we're going to see that next season. So it's not really something I'm worried about. The last thing I wanted to get people's opinions on, Kieran Tierney. We've seen he's been injured again with Scotland. And I just wanted to leave this open. We've had discussions about Kieran Tierney. A lot of people think he's the perfect kind of player that Arsenal can use in that left-hand side. You know, you want a specialist left-back. That's exactly what Kieran Tierney is. We saw him out on loan last season and he got injured. Coming into the Euros, a lot of us were thinking if Kieran Tierney is to push himself forward and allow Mikel Arteta to maybe think, oh, maybe I can use him instead of selling him for 10, 15 million pound. Maybe this is a player I can use in some games where we need that specialist left back. But he plays with Scotland. First game, looked alright. Second game, injured. Bang. I don't know what Mikel Arteta will now do looking at that. Will he just look at it and say, well, he's not got long left on his deal anyway. No one's going to want to buy him. No one's going to pay a fee for this guy. I'm hearing a lot of people saying just pay off his contract and get rid of him. I think if you're going to pay his contract anyway, just let him recover. And if you're going to let him go for free anyway, I would just let him recover. Keep him around the team. I wouldn't even loan him out, to be fair. Mikel Arteta might want to do that, but I would just get him fit. And if there is an opportunity where you need a left-back in a certain game, keep him in the squad for next season. Is he going to be the long-term answer? No. But I don't think you necessarily have to solve that problem this season. I think you can use Kieran Tierney when he's available. I'm obviously saying when he's available because we do still have so many options in that defensive line. We've got Kivior, Zinchenko, Timber. So he doesn't need to be available every game. But maybe if we can have him in the squad 5 or 10 times next season, I'm only saying in terms of if we're looking to pay him off and get rid of him anyway. I would just keep him around and see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on Eberechi Eze. Do you think that's an interesting deal? Is that a deal you would go for? Or would you, like me, go for the option of Nico Williams? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. And if you could, before you go, like I said, just do me the favour. Hit like on this video. Just like it and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.